Some of this is legend, but at least this much is fact. When rioting citizens of France destroyed the Bastille, they discovered within its records this mysterious entry. Prisoner number 64389,000. The man in the iron mask.
Your Majesty, there are...
The 1998 film Man in the Iron Mask, based off the novel by Alexandre Dumas, who wrote a novel in the 1840s based on the legendary theory that the man in the iron mask was the identical twin brother to King Louis XIV of France. It was kind of similar to how, it was kind of like the Da Vinci Code of its day, how Dan Brown wrote a suspense thriller around the theory of Christ having a bloodline. Well, he wrote one around this, and King Louis is, let me just get this out of the way, King Louis is just a malicious warmonger who has no compassion for his citizens. We all know the plot line of how he's a bad king, and so his musketeers form a plot to overthrow him by switching the two. And Leonardo DiCaprio plays a dual role, as we know. I'm going to go over some of the things that stood out to me in the movie. When you hire Leonardo DiCaprio, you pretty much know what you're getting. You either love or hate his overacting. It's actually pretty entertaining to watch his overacting. I thought he did a pretty good job for Leonardo, you know. It's just funny to just hear him yell and scream his lines. And also, it has John Malkovich. You gotta love that guy too. He was just a legend around that era too, throughout the late 80s and 90s. That guy's got the devil in his acting. And Peter Sarsgaard plays his son, another one of my favorite actors, but he just plays a weakling role who gets killed off, as we know. The opening scene is so dope, how of course they have Jeremy Irons in this too. I love how the opening scene opens up on the Bastille. So anyway, the man, and it shows the man in the iron mask, who is actually a real person, but the thing is, no one really knows his true identity. And he actually wore that iron mask in prison for 34 years until his death. There's all different kinds of theories. If you look on the Wikipedia page, it's a whole long, several different theories on it. But they obviously wanted to hide his identity. It's set in 1662. I love the sunny day scene in the courtyard as they show in the beginning of the movie, 25 minutes in or so. It's kind of like NBC on a Saturday when they show golf and stuff. Then there's the flashback of when they break his brother, Philippe, out of the iron mask and out of prison. And they tell him the whole story, and of course he grew up a weakling because he's in that mask and he's so innocent, and blah blah blah. A lot of the historical accounts are twisted for fictional purposes, of course. And of course they do the switch at a masquerade party. Like you didn't see that coming. They always gotta have a masquerade party for movies like this. That's a picture of the original King Louis XIV, who apparently had no compassion for all his citizens, and so they wanted to overthrow him. Instead of just killing him, they wanted to switch him, as I was saying. So the former musketeers go to train Philippe. There's a few bozo moments in this with Gérard Depardieu, and they do a fart joke for whatever reason in a serious historical drama, which is retarded. And they make Leonardo DiCaprio as the king. Wear a lot of red. I love his outfits throughout this. I wish he would have worn a purple outfit, which is kind of known to be a king's color choice back then. As we all hear, that's just a stereotypical king color. And obviously you've already checked it out. And if you haven't seen it, you really need to go out of your way to see it. It's over 2 hours long. The girl in it isn't even that hot, but it's pretty suspenseful plot throughout. Anyway, this was JBM, Man in the Iron Mask, 1998.